Ronba says watch the next one and let's bet if Drokie screams or not.
How about you lick the inside of my thighs, you fucking weirdo? Very scary, true Valentine's Day horror stories animated. Let's see this, man.
Ronba says now I'm good, next video Drokie. Too Big Twist says ain't it crazy how every language has the same sound like A or S or B.
This happened around the time of Valentine's Day. I started working at Boots when I wanted to pick up a second job so I could save money for a car. It was just a part-time gig as a cleaner. The other cleaner was this guy named Martin. He was twice my age, and despite us not
fine shit.
having much in common, Martin suggested we have a drink down at some pub after work. I didn't want to leave the guy hanging since he was my co-worker, so I took him up on his offer. He paid for my first drink. Initially, I figured he was just being friendly, but then he also paid for my second drink.
That's why I've never went out with my coworkers. Not to say that, dude, but like, bro, I don't know, man. Yo, you know what I realized recently? A lot of niggas like men. Like a lot. So they'll do some slick shit whilst they like boys and then they think they bagged you. Nigga, you ain't bagged me, bro. Don't fucking ask me. Yo, don't ask me for my snap and try fucking bagging me, bro. This shit dead gay. Yep, you chill out, man. Oh, man, fuck off, man.
I told him this wasn't a date, so I was fine paying for myself. I can tell he looked defeated from being shot down, but after some time, he said he was okay with our relationship being purely platonic. From there, we moved on like nothing even happened, and then I eventually paid for a final drink and walked home. For the following few weeks, Martin and I would still chat at work and occasionally go to the pub after work. But it was when we finally traded numbers that I realized Martin still had a thing for me. He texted and called me often, in the kind of way a teenager texts his crush. Martin even started showing up at Boots on his days off when I was working.
That's so fucking crazy. Nigga, what? On your day off? Man, fucking, what the fuck, bro?
Just to pop in and say hi. The whole situation was getting uncomfortable as hell. By that point, he started asking me to hang out every single day. I tried to gently remind him that we were just friends, but he just wouldn't take the hint. I started to realize that Martin was really just a creepy and clingy old man. I ended up telling my friends about Martin and how he was my co-worker and was clingy and lonely and tried to get in contact with me every other day. They made me realize just how crazy that was and convinced me to ghost his calls and messages and tell him in person that I just wanted to keep it a work relationship. As soon as I made that clear to him through a phone call, he literally started sobbing, confessing his love for me. I eventually
I know. Yo, I shouldn't be laughing at shit like this because this is fucking realistic. I hope you might know this. Like, you can look high can tell that there's some what type of truth to it.
Eventually hung up and just swept the whole ordeal under the rug. The next couple of weeks were awful. Martin called me non-stop, sending me messages every few minutes about how we were soulmates and that the universe put me and him in the store for a reason. I could mostly ignore that, but I couldn't avoid him at work. Our manager had to tell him that he couldn't be there if he wasn't working or shopping because he was hanging around me so much. His harassment made it damn near unbearable to work there.
So says Drokie, if you get kidnapped and midway through the kidnapper gets bored and lets you go and the kidnapper is a group of 10 bad bitches, different races but all bad bitches, would you be disappointed?
I don't know, kidnapping is heavy though, bro. Like, gee, come on, bro.
I eventually told my boss that I would be quitting by the end of next week. Eventually, on the day of Valentine's Day, things took a turn for the absolute worst. During the morning, just before clocking into work, I remember seeing Martin holding a large bouquet of flowers while smiling like a creep.
Happy Valentine's Day!
I took the flowers out of spite and continued to work as if nothing happened. But things only got creepier from there. Later that night, I went out to get my mail. That's when I saw Martin staring at me from the other side of the curb in front of my house. I was freaked the hell out.
W Riz, man. Hey, you, man, take some notes, man. Do this to the girl you like, man. Rose Hook.
He looked like he had been watching my house all night. I never told him where I lived, so I knew he had followed me home from work or something. The situation had gone from a minor annoyance to a complete disaster, but before I knew it, he started walking toward me. I yelled at him to go away and slammed the door. I didn't know whether I should call the cops or not. I called my mom, asking her how I would go about getting a restraining.
Would you be sad if you were being auctioned at a sex slave convention and no one bid for you?
Yo, bro.
But ultimately decided to just finish out my last couple shifts. Then I'd have time to go to court. I eventually finished my last day of work and started heading home for the night. Strangely, I hadn't seen Martin all day. I was walking through the park between the workplace and my house when I heard something from behind a tree.
Can't lie, bro. Now look, I feel so sorry for this position, innit? But please, bro. This is like, how do I explain it, bro? This is like, if I have mad ops onto me, then I'm walking through the park where my ops stay, bro. This is, please, man. Please be, like, if you know somebody's onto you, please be mighty careful, man. Please, bro, please. Just in any situation ever. Like, any situation ever in life. You walk on your ones in a park at night knowing that there's a, like, gee, I'm not victim blaming, I'm just saying that let's please be as smart as possible.
Says unless it's a
That's so fucked. I just heard yo, that's very bad. That's a crazy joke, bro.
Martin, what are you doing?
I came to give you this.
A love letter? Oh, come on, Martin. I told you already I don't want you. When are you going to stop?
No! When are you gonna stop denying the truth? We belong together. We were meant for each other.
Oh,
No,
man.
Martin, I don't want your flowers. I don't want your letter. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Would you please just leave me alone?
Please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything for some young...
The fuck? What's wrong with this guy? Yo, gee, I'm sorry, man. The way they animate is strange, bro.
love. You know what they say? The younger, the fresher.
What the hell is wrong with you? Martin, please stop!
Wait, so you're telling me that he just started touching her? Like, this is a story? Are you serious?
Too big to miss, says the younger the fresh from W, quote, taking notes.
Together, I'll never stop. Not until we can be together. I'll never. Happy Valentine's Day!
This was a Valentine's Day story, inspired
Oh my days, this happened?
by a story based on a jealous worker who stalked and strangled a colleague he was obsessed with.
Oh my days, what the fuck?
The victim was Heather Jordan, whose remains were found in Langford Park
Oh my gosh, bro.
by dog walkers on the 18th of February. 52-year-old Martin Corns had denied taking her out, but it was later revealed that he did in a fit of jealous rage after she shut down his advances. The court heard Kearns had become obsessed with Miss Jordan after meeting her at Boots, where they both worked as cleaners. They started a platonic relationship.
I stuck with this
that she
fucking blinking
described
shit,
as
man.
committed friendship, and the prosecution told the court he took her out after she told him she wanted to stop meeting him. Corns bombarded Miss Jordan with more than 2,000 texts and calls, watched her home, followed her around at work, and became increasingly possessive and jealous.
Oh
the
my
jury heard. He then
gosh.
took her out while she was walking from her home to her weekend clean.
Well, this was the Valentine's note. The woman who puts a smile on my face and makes my heart. What the fuck? Yo, G, your handwriting was some dick as well. Woman who makes my heart. Gee, what the fuck? What the fuck? Can you man read that, bro?
Cleaning job. A torn-up love letter was found scattered around her body, and the slaying was made to look like a robbery. She was found in a park shelter by dog walkers. Miss Jordan's mother told jurors she intended to lodge a complaint of harassment against Corns with bosses at Boots. She also said she did not like receiving a dozen red roses from him on Valentine's Day, 2 days before the slaying. The jury heard Corns was convinced Miss Jordan was seeing a supervisor at Boots and refused to accept her repeated denials. The courts found Corns guilty and jailed him for life with a minimum of 17 years.
Fucking weirdo, man. It's mad. It's crazy, man. Next one. Alright, man,
This
yo.
happened around Valentine's Day. At the time, I was married to my husband Tony for 24 years. We were high school sweethearts and got married after finishing college. We had 2 sons together, and for as long as I knew Tony, his best friend was this guy named David. As the years went by and friends came and went, Tony and David stayed in touch. That's when things started to get rough between me and Tony. Our honeymoon faded in touch. That's when things started to...
This is horrible prints, bro. Alright, man. Gee, where's that print at, man? I can't see no type of luggage. The fuck? Weak print, man.
Get rough between me and Tony. Our honeymoon phase seemed to last forever, but then one day, something was burdening me about still being in the marriage. Unfortunately, by then, Tony had become worn out from life, buried in his work and either unable or unwilling to put in the effort to keep our marriage alive. This led to our first serious arguments in 30 years of being together, so I went to David.
30
David
years?
was still friends with Tony, but at that time, they were more distant than they had ever been. Despite still being old friends with Tony, David understood my plight and helped me through it. He had similar issues in his marriage, so he easily related to me. I started to see David in secret.
You bitch. Oh, for real. And you know the things, hey, crazy.
Just to talk. Eventually, I realized I had truly fallen out of love with my husband. That's when I started sleeping with David. We both tried as hard as we could to hide our affair, but it was hopeless. We kept coming back to each other, and
what the fuck? Oh
tried
my
to see him
days.
every other day, and every time I saw him, we got intimate and kept cheating on our significant others. After a few years, Tony started to notice. He started to snoop around and berate me with questions like, why was I really staying late at work or which friends I was going out with. Then one day, he got a hold of my texts with David.
GG.
I didn't know that until he followed me to David's house and confronted us on the street.
I mean, it was like 30 years of marriage. So, as of right now, I can't really point him out as a maniac. But we'll see.
What happened next between the two of them was, up until that point, the most violent and frightening state I had ever seen my husband in.
You rat bastard! This whole time you were screwing my wife! Stay back. Let's just talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. You betrayed me. Both of you destroyed everything. It was already over, Tony. Don't you understand that?
Yo, G. Yo, G, I can't lie, bro. Wife for 30 years. I catch her cheating. And my man's like, G, it was already over. Yo, don't you know she fell out of love time ago, nigga? Oh my day, I can't lose my mind. Oh my word, bro.
Babe, please.
Shut it, bitch! You're the hoe that went and slept with my best friend.
Oh.
No wonder you're so damn loose down there. Ah!
A fight broke out. They were wailing on each other, punching and kicking and slamming. I tried to break them up, but the people on the street had to intervene. They both came away from the fight with bloody knuckles and bruised up faces. I didn't know what to do after. I defaulted on going home with my husband.
That was a horrible idea. That nigga might beat the brakes out of you. Yo. Like, bro, I can't lie, man. What kind of decision making is this? Horrid idea. Yo, don't hate the player, hate the... I must say, game is game. Oh my word,
Oh
bro.
God, it was unbearably awkward. I felt like anything I said might set Tony off all over again. I knew he was furious with me.
You're driving both of you off the bridge.
But I couldn't put all the blame on him. When we got home, we told the kids to go to their rooms for the night. Then we finally
Kids
sat
as
down to have
well?
the discussion. At last, I admitted to Tony I wanted a divorce and that I wanted to marry David. Tony went into a rage and screamed in my face about how much of a horrible person I was for destroying our marriage. I didn't say much. I just let him tire himself out. However, every single day, he would blow up about something completely unrelated and bring it back to the affair. He didn't trust me to leave the house.
I mean, G. Like, G, come on. You fell in love with his best friend, man. Like, yo, how much was full sympathy,
So I
like, G?
stayed. mostly for the kids. I was in there until Valentine's Day rolled around. I knew for sure I didn't want to spend it at home, so I left to go see David for the first time in a while. There was nothing I could do to keep Tony from knowing where I went once he noticed I left, so I was hoping that he wouldn't do anything crazy. When I got there, I parked my car by the side of the road and was greeted by David, who emerged from his driveway. That's when I saw another car pulling up, and it was Tony. He got out of the car and
okay, really? Tony! Tony! This is not your bitch no more, Tony. Oh my word. This is the crashing out that T-Banks was talking about. Tony.
Firearm tucked in his waistband. I remember seeing David pleading with him, but all it did was cause what happened to happen.
GG's.
You piece of shit! You took my wife! You ruined my Valentine's Day! You ruined my life! Ah!
David did not survive his injuries. Tony, however, somehow survived. Although the damage was severe, after he was sufficiently healed, he was—
Wait, what the fuck? How did Tony get hurt? Wait, am I missing something? Wait, did they both shoot at each other? Like, gee, what the fuck?
It's a shit!
With him, but all it did was cause what happened to happen.
Oh, Tony shot back. But David shot back.
Shit. You took my wife! You ruined my Valentine's Day! You ruined my life! Ah!
David did not survive his injuries. Tony, however, somehow survived. Although the damage was severe, after he was sufficiently healed, he was arrested. I am alone, scared, wrecked with guilt and shame so debilitating I can hardly take care of my sons. When I look at them, all I can see is my husband's face.
I mean, yeah, that does make sense. Like, you made sure. I mean, who you wanted to see David's face in your husband, G? Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck?
Sometimes intact, and sometimes mangled. This story was inspired by a
Oh, shit. Roses are red, dead flesh is green, and when the dead start to rise, you're on my... What the fuck? That's weird, G. Yo, nigga, get some help, man. Therapy. Like,
disturbing incident regarding a woman at the center of a fatal Valentine's Day love triangle who had feared her husband would turn violent when she left him for her lover of 6 years.
This is an ugly, funky being, though.
Who had feared her husband would turn violent when she left him for her lover of 6 years. 46-year-old Kathy Riley told her friends that she was afraid of her husband and that she feared he would do something to her or her longtime lover, David Glenn Nichols. She and estranged husband Tony Riley—
Nah, low-key, if I'm a woman, I'm going for David too, man. Come on, bro, you fell off. What the fuck is this, man? What the fuck?
Had been high school sweethearts, but had eventually separated after she told him she wanted to marry Nichols. The pair were still living in the same house in Gulgong with their 2 teenage sons. On Wednesday at about 7 a.m., Riley followed his wife to Mr. Nichols' homes. Witnesses to the Valentine's Day slaying say Riley was armed.
I'll take that yellow, I can't lie.
Witnesses to the Valentine's Day slaying say Riley was armed and led off at his love rival. He then did the unthinkable after an hour-long standoff with the police. Riley was taken to the hospital and survived. Riley has been remanded in custody and will be sentenced accordingly.
Crazy. After 30 years, it's fucking insane, though. Like, 30-year marriage. You're sleeping with David. I don't love you anymore. Oh my day. After 30 years, yo, G. Oh my word. Now be hurt. Alright, last one, bro. The Valentine's... Yo, G, come on. Stop with that fucking extra shit.
Ago around Valentine's Day, I had just come out of a serious 5-year relationship. I wasn't looking for anything serious after
She's black as well.
Oliver says 30 years he threw half his life away marring her. That's
damn. Plus the jail sentence. That's fucked.
Still open to dating. That's when I met this
guy. I can't lie, man. I was gonna say Tony ain't do nothing wrong. I don't want to say that because you shouldn't have went over there with the gun. Gee, you lost already. Like, do you think that, like, but you know.
MySpace, which was what everyone used at the time. He was this attractive guy who claimed to manage a fancy restaurant in my house. After talking for a while, we ended up getting together. We got along well at first, but I eventually found out that he had been lying about a lot of things. He wasn't the manager of anything. He was just a cashier, and he didn't own a house either. He lived with his parents.
Does this nigga have more brushes as his teeth?
He was also a loser. I wanted to leave
He was also a loser.
him, but I stuck it out for a while as he convinced me he would have all of those things. However, as time went on, I saw him more and more for what he was. That being a lazy piece of shit. When I stopped
paid or somewhat's all this fancy dancy stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
believing his BS, he got angry. We started getting into huge arguments and fights, and I realized that the guy had serious anger issues. He would scream and swear in my face, right in front of his mother, and even punched holes into the wall of her.
What the fuck? Yo, I can't lie, bro. If you as a kid were punching holes in your wall, bro. Like, gee, come on, bro. The fuck? Yo, if my 14-year-old kid gets mad and punches a hole in the wall, I'm gonna punch a hole in his chest. Are you fucking dumb? What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, gee.
House one night after we'd been together for about a year.
Only punched a hole in the door before. Like, gee, grow the fuck up, man. The fuck are you doing? Can't lie, bro. That shit just... Yo, I think at school there was a nigga who punched up. Like, gee, why are you at school punching holes in walls, man? Like, what? Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, bro.
His threats began.
Nigga, I was 11. Yo, gee, when I was 11, I had a brain too. I was not gonna use my brain to punch the fucking door. Like, gee, are you dumb? Punched my uncle and broke my knuckle once. I punched my table and broke my knuckle. Okay.
Became real when he grabbed a baseball bat and started swinging it at me. I managed to run to the bathroom and lock myself inside, but that still didn't stop him. He tried to smash right through it to get to me.
Open this door up so I can rip your ass in half!
His mother had to pull him away from the door and calm him down. By then, I
Riz, man. The fuck, bro? Yo, come on,
had
man.
called the police. I didn't come out of the bathroom until they arrived. When they did, my boyfriend had the audacity to claim I was the one attacking him. He tried to get them to file a restraining order on me. Of course, they didn't believe him. The door and walls had dents from the baseball bat he had, and the fact that he didn't have any marks or bruises on him at all. Instead, I filed a restraining order against him and actually got one. That's when I broke up with him.
Nigga said foreplay. Yo, bro, shut the fuck up, man.
That's when the harassment started. He found every way he could to try and contact me, but I blocked and ghosted him at every turn. He even got disposable phones so he could call and text me, but I caught on. This went on for weeks, and no matter what I told the police, they didn't seem to care enough to help me. Things started to get legitimately scary, so I eventually made the decision to stay with my parents for a while. I felt a lot safer around them as opposed to being alone.
Why can't they? I think, yo, I might kill you, bro. You can start stalking me. Like, bro, come off it, bro. Why you outside my yard for? Like, I just fucking out. Like, gee, come on, bro. You low-key have to. Yo, there should be like a law that if like you have enough evidence to say that a person has been following you for this amount of time, doing this, all this evidence, you should be able to do something back.
Knowing my ex knew where to find me, I didn't like being alone in general, which was what led me to date that psycho in the first place. It felt especially depressing to be alone when Valentine's Day rolled around.
Come on, bro, you're a bitch.
I hadn't been single for
says, how did Jake Paul not
Valentine's Day for 5 years. That night, my parents went
out
for
that's
a
mad,
date,
bro.
leaving me alone in the house for the evening. I had nothing to distract me from the messages I was getting from my ex,
I rebuke that in the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Restraining order. So I put my phone down and tried to watch TV, but ended up getting tired and went to bed early. I couldn't quite fall asleep right away though. I kept hearing noises from outside. It sounded like someone or something was rustling in the bushes. I figured it was my parents coming
I'm hard camping the underneath of my bed,
I never
bro.
heard anyone come into the house. Things went quiet again, but I couldn't relax or try going back to sleep.
Oh, that level of success, yeah.
I got up from my bed and looked out the window, only to see my ex standing outside like a psycho freak.
Oh, hell no, man. The fuck?
We made eye contact, which sent him sprinting toward the house. I closed my curtains, but the freak charged and busted through the front door. That's when I heard his footsteps coming up the stairs. There was no lock in my bedroom.
This is horrible, Riz. What kind of bro?
And
Come
to
on,
make
man.
matters worse, I couldn't find my phone to call the police. Before I knew it, he kicked down my bedroom door and was standing right in front of me, revealing a knife from behind his back.
Damn.
It had been a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Did she really die? Oh my gosh, yo, G.
Until the moment my wife and I returned home from dinner. We thought that even with everything that was going on with our daughter and her crazy ex-boyfriend, that she could be left on her own just for a few hours. But then we got out of the car and saw that the front door had been broken in. My wife immediately called the police. I told her to wait outside while I checked the house. The first place I went to was my daughter's bedroom, and nothing could prepare me for what I saw when I walked into her room. My daughter was horribly butchered, clinging to life and gasping for air. We rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. The man that took her out was on the run for a few hours before the police caught him. What he did to this family, to my daughter, can never be forgiven.
That's
This
so
story was inspired by a
fucked.
disturbing Valentine's Day incident regarding a man named James Carter II, who was sentenced to 60 years in prison for taking out his ex-girlfriend with a knife. The victim was his ex-girlfriend, 25-year-old University
Yo,
of
he's evil, man. Oh my word, bro.
Hartford graduate student named Tiana Notice. The incident happened just outside her Plainview apartment on Valentine's Day. It was alleged that the woman was punctured about 20 times and was barely alive when police arrived. Notice unfortunately passed 2 hours later at the Hartford hospital. It was just about a week after her 25th birthday. In 2008, her relationship with Carter went south, so she ended it. Carter apparently wasn't happy with this decision. Tiana even got an order of protection against Carter, but that didn't stop him. One month before Notice was taken out, she had a restraining order on Carter and unsuccessfully sought help from the local police department several times.
They're low-key several times. Like, bro, the police be missing stuff. Like, that gotta account for something, like, law-wise, nah? Is that not negligence, bro? What's it called? What's it called? That's negligence on their part, nah?
Because she feared for her life, her father and mother tearfully addressed the judge during the sentencing hearing and asked him to sentence Carter to the maximum. Carter chose not to attend the sentencing hearing. He was ultimately handed down a 60-year prison sentence, and his case helped influence changes to the state's laws.
It probably did, like, it probably influenced it, like, in the police. Like, the police gotta do something about that, bro. Damn. That was rough. 60 deserved years. At least, like, they gave him something to, you know?
I feel like I'm on my own. I feel like I'm on my own.